an Inquisitor favor to ask. Just a little thing, really. A little march around for some of your people. It's nothing for you, right?
All right.
Jump right in, huh? It's a Red Jenny thing. I got a tip that some noble stiffs are arguing. They're getting little people beat up. So I need...
Just walk through.
Just walk through. Easy, right?
All right, Sarah.
It's fun, right? Being important without doing a thing. Not everything has to be torn skies and ancient arsehole. Demon armies and wardens, and Varric has exactly who we need. The big talker just knows everything.
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on. Right. That's why. Something like that. He's in the Dales.
Lord Inquisitor, I trust good sec. As master of the tradesman, I stand ready to build. Our purpose in the Inquisition is legitimate. It was time already, at least. It is better to...
Our mounts have never had better.
Feels good to be back at work, Inquisition. And lucky you have me. Mountain air like this, not healthy for many animals. Too busy to hear. Surprisingly well. I miss them. That'll be fun.
This is just... It's something to keep their hands busy. I'm grateful you tracked me down when you did. As exciting as wandering the woodlands was, this is better. It's good to be part of something so important. Something that could change things.
The Grey Wardens are huge and...
True, but without a blight on the horizon, everything the Wardens do feels like waiting. This, the Inquisition, is what matters now. You are who you choose. Someone told me that once. Took me years to understand what he meant.
Certainly who you follow defines who you are.
We're not all blessed with your quick wit. Personally, I'm glad I have any wit at all. It was a Chevalier who said those words to me. A powerful man. We met as competitors in the Grand Tourney. He put aside his own ambitions to help me win the melee. I don't think I ever thanked him.
What is this, Grand?
You've never heard of it? The Grand Tour. It's a spectacle. Song. But the greatest part is the contest of arms.
How did he...
There were 100 men on the field. The knight and I had forged an alliance. The goal, down as many opponents as possible. He always let me deliver the final blow.
He must have wanted something.
A pupil, a squire. Someone to teach and to mold. When it was over, he offered to mentor me. To teach me. And I, young and stupid, turned him down flat. I just won the melee. I should have gone with him. Perhaps things could have been different.
You're here now. A Grey Warden.
I suppose it did, didn't it? But I'm older. Hopefully wiser. And
As leader of the Inquisition, there's something I must tell you.
You're being especially serious today.
I know. Lyrium grants Templars our abilities, but it controls us as well. Those cut off suffer. Some go mad, others die. We have secured a reliable source of Lyrium for the Templars here. But
You stopped.
when I joined the Inquisition, it's been months now.
You've never complained.
Why would I? I chose this. After what happened in Kirkwall, I couldn't. I will not be bound to the Order, or that life any longer. Whatever the suffering, I accept it. But I would not put the Inquisition... I've asked Cassandra to... watch me. If my ability to lead is compromised, I will be relieved from duty.
Are you in pain?
I can endure it.
Cassandra takes things as seriously as you do. If she has no problem...
I thought you had a right to know. The Inquisition's army must always take priority. Was there something you needed?
Need something?
Cassandra is waiting for the next issue of Swords and Shields.
I must have heard that wrong. It sounded like you just said that Cassandra read my books.
She's a pretty big fan, in fact.
Are we talking about the same Cassandra? Tall, grumpy seeker, like stabbing things? Wait, did you say the romance serial? Huh. She'll be waiting for a while then. I haven't finished it and wasn't planning to. That book is easily the worst I've ever written. The last issue barely sold enough to pay for the ink.
I was hoping to give it to Cassandra as a gift.
Oh, come on, that's just cruel. Even the Seeker doesn't deserve that. So, you want me to finish writing the latest issue of my worst serial? For Cassandra? Oh, that's such a terrible idea. I have to do it. On one condition. I get to be there when you give her the book.
You've got a deal.
I'll get to work then. You know, the fact that the book is terrible just makes it more worthwhile somehow.
A pleasure.
Let's...
Another time. Inquisitor?
Been a long time since I was at sea.
Ferelden has faced enough darkspawn for a lifetime. 10 years passed, and you can still see how the Blight haunts this country and its people.
That Herlock will put up a fight. Stand ready.
The Templars have surrendered their resources for the Inquisition's use. Need anything?
with the extra armor must lead the pack.
Cassandra, you do know they still tell tales of the dragon attack on Val Royeaux.
I'm aware. I'm also aware they grow larger with each retelling.
Many yet live who saw it with their own eyes.
From what I've heard from so-called witnesses, I have to wonder.
You are too modest, dear. You could have parlayed that victory into more than a position at the Divine's right hand.
If I was someone else, perhaps. I simply...
The extra armor must lead the pack.
That Herlock will put up a fight. Stand ready.
That's the end of that.
My dear Cassandra, I am impressed with how well organized the Inquisition was in the aftermath of the Conclave.
It was chaos. I would hardly call it organized.
Perspective, darling. The Chantry hasn't even found the right vestments for issuing a statement on the Divine's death.
Being more flexible than the Chantry is not a difficult goal.
Take your victories where you can, dear.
It's over.
The workers are almost done building a lift to the deep roads. No darkspawn trouble yet, but the earthquakes have been brutal.
I was told to meet a Shaper Volta.
She's waiting below. You won't see an Orzammar dwarf on the surface. They have rules about that.
From your tone, I'd guess Orzammar isn't your favorite place.
I don't have an opinion. Cloud gazers like me aren't allowed in the city. The lift's ready for you. Try not to shift around, and keep back from the edge. It's a long way down.
Lowered into a hole. What an auspicious start.
We've been in worse places.
Perhaps you have, my dear.
We should be wary of raw lyrium.
I'm more worried about finding Darkspawn.
Neither is a pleasing prospect.
Always wondered if I'd die down here.
You're not dead yet.
The day's just starting.
Your names will not be forgotten.
You must be Shaper Volta.
A trustful Inquisitor. The Shaper it welcomes you to the deep roads.
What does a Shaper do exactly?
We chronicle the life and times of our people.
You're historians.
Also scholars and genealogists. Shapers preserve knowledge in the memories. We record memories in lyrium to ensure they never fade.
A difficult task.
You look as though you're...
As a citizen of Orzammar, even a glimpse of your sky could cost me my position and render me castless.
My ambassador briefed me, but now I hear there are still more quakes?
Each new tremor opens another fissure in the deep road. Our situation has worsened since we contacted Sky. The quakes collapsed this mine and shattered a seal, keeping the dark... The Legion of the Dead hasn't been able to mend the broken seal, and we can't afford to lose any more lyrium.
I've read about the Legion of the Dead. Dwarves who fight Darkspawn in service to Orzammar. They commit their lives to the cause and celebrate their own funerals before entering the deep roads.
No matter their sins in life, the Legion die noble deaths.
Orzammar deals with Darkspawn all the time. What?
The Legion isn't prepared for this level of disaster, and the Grey Wardens haven't answered our calls for aid. Any threat to the flow of lyrium requires immediate response. The Inquisition is the only force we can rely upon.
The Inquisition's... Without a steady lyrium supply, things on the surface will get even...
Apologies for pushing you.
Aren't you a polite thing?
I fear the damage that tremor caused. Follow me to the Legion. Keep your eyes open. These roads are dangerous.
Stay clear of its reach!
Now! While it's distracted!
focused on us! Now's the time to attack!
You have my gratitude.
Just returning the favor?
If the ogre reached this point, the Legion must be overwhelmed. Let us hurry. I will never get used to the stench of Darkspawn. They corrupt everything, even the air. That's the broken seal ahead. It is worse than I thought.
Get those charges to the tunnels! Someone prime the sonic fuses!
We can't lose this position! Hurry!
Can't set the charges with those bastards breathing down our necks!
Clear out the Darkspawn! charges!
Inquisitor, meet Lieutenant Wren, a veteran of the 5th Flight and one of the Legion's finest commanders.
Someone paid her to say that. Appreciate the help, Inquisitor. Collapsing that seal bought us time. Blighters had the run of these tunnels for days. Now they have a roadblock.
How many deep roads are there? How deep do they go?
They'll take you from one side of Thetis to the other, if you have a death wish.
The roads once connected dwarven cities that were hundreds of miles apart. Then came the Darkspawn. Ren and I have been exploring this region, reclaiming it, but the work is slow.
Mark the map, fight an army. Mark the map, fall in a hole. And so on.
The Legion of the Dead has the Inquisition's full support.
That's the best news I've heard since the quakes began. Actually, the only good news.
Take cover!
You heard that, yes. The rhythm in the tremors? It's clearer, stronger.
I hear it.
These quakes are not a natural disaster. They're deliberate. There's an intelligence behind them.
How could an earthquake...
We get plenty of natural tremors down here.
I found an ancient text during an expedition with Ren last. The text describes giant creatures called Titans living. When these quakes began, I believe we heard that rhythm. I believe a Titan is causing all this destruction.
I've never heard of Titans before.
The text I found predated the First Blight. Its pages had and there's no mention of the Titan.
Which tells you something.
All I heard was an earthquake. How is it you...
Our people have a strong connection to the stone.
Shapers have great stone sense. And Volta's better than most. She never gets lost.
You speak of the stone like it...
The stone is eternal. She was here before us, and...
But the stone isn't...
We don't worship her, but we do respect.
The stone makes us strong, and we return that strength to her when we die. It's difficult to express in words.
Even if something strange is behind these earthquakes, it's not...
Aye. You'd think the For all we know, that text you found was a bedtime story.
The rhythm I sense in the quakes is emanating from...
And if it comes to a fight, that'll be our job. There's a...